Okay, guys, before we begin tonight's podcast, we're going to, instead of doing life updates and all that beautiful stuff, we're going to be doing shameless plugs. I'm going to be doing music, Hub's going to be doing movies, and Britt's going to do whatever pops in her mind. Where for music, I'm going to play devil's advocate and talk about something that we've never talked about before, of that Cash Me Outside girl coming out with actually a good song this year.
Don't do it.
I don't want to talk about it, but it was actually pretty talentedly produced. Lyrically, it's garbage, but for what it was made in the production line, it was decent garbage.
Just don't make me hate you, V.
It's like putting gold aluminum foil on trash. Good job, V.
And then eating it.
I mean, the only other music that I've heard recently is just stuff that I didn't hear last year. Like, for just new music, it was decent trash.
Well, you know what? I have to step back and say, I may not like it, but there are people out there who got famous in much worse ways and are still famous, and they do nothing.
Yeah.
So, teenage girl goes on Dr. Phil, creates a scene, and gets herself famous. She knew what she was doing, and so did her mom.
And then becomes a rapper. And
at least it wasn't porn.
Yeah.
Which I'm drawing right now. But
So.
And when I say that, I mean at least it wasn't, I'm doing the air quotes, leaked porn video.
Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian,
yes,
Barrett Abraham.
Just the whole Kardashian family.
Yeah. But, not vomit-inducing aside, Hubs, you got any movies you want to do like a self-plug for us?
Oh, boy. Let's see here. First one that actually popped in my head, I've actually plugged before, and I'm going to plug it again, even though it's old. Tucker and Dale versus Evil. If you like horror, and you like, let's say, what was it, the Scary Movie franchise?
Yeah.
Maybe like the first two, where they're basically making fun of all of the horror movie, you know, it's a big satire on the horror movie premise. Tucker and Dale versus Evil is actually better than that because there's an actual story behind it, but they do the same thing with the satire. They just do it in a different way. I really highly recommend this movie. It's fucking hilarious. It's not scary at all. I shouldn't say it's horror. It's just graphic.
It's
gory.
comedic gore.
Yes. Like, and it's not even like dark comedy gore like Fargo, where they catch the guy and he's got the leg sticking out of the wood chipper. Because, anyways, this is like
put the leg down. No, put the leg.
So I'm gonna plug Tucker and Dale versus Evil. It's an older film. When I say older, I mean a few years, not like decades or anything. But it's hilarious.
wow.
I thought you were gonna be plugging the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie like everyone's trying to do right now.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't
plug
seen it either.
something I haven't seen. But from what I understand, everything that GT was is coming true. So
Thank God.
Yes, me and you are the only two out there that fucking are. Yes.
Because apparently Broly's whole thing is close to Super Saiyan 4, which means Super Saiyan 4 will be canon in some way, in some fashion. And I'm
but
like,
not only that, it proves that I was right about the whole Super Saiyan God being weaker than Super Saiyan 4.
Thank God! In your face, super fans!
But they'll probably call it something else. They probably won't call it Super Saiyan 4. They'll probably
Just to
call
piss
it
us off, yeah.
Super Saiyan God 2 or something like that.
Something fucking stupid. I don't know. But
Anyway.
Britt, you with the final shameless plug. What you got?
Go to my Patreon. I draw nude art.
Here I thought it was going to be about anal beads.
That might be my next drawing. Who knows? But, for $1 a month, you can be a patron on my Patreon and see some exclusive nudes. Anyway.
Well, that that big famous hentai site did go down, so you should your
Hentai
traffic.
Haven, yeah, I
That's
heard
it.
the news.
Your traffic should be going up.
Oh, it
know.
should be.
So if you guys like
Skyrocket.
tasteful porn, go to our sister Britt's Patreon today.
Yes.
But
Please. I need money.
aside from all that stuff, guys, and all those
You and
shameless
people.
plugs and whatnot, it's time, of course, for the intro. Simultaneous claps, everyone.
Growing up and growing old, don't you feel the time moving forward every morning when we rise? If only we could make it right before the sun says goodnight.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to What Grinds Your Gears, the podcast owned by, ran by, and done by things with family members only, and cousins sometimes. We have cousins, apparently, but we don't really talk to them because they have their own little thing going on. Anyway, you guys already know me. It's V. I'm, supposed to be here every week, but apparently sometimes I sleep for, a couple hours on end. And, over to the left side, you guys already know this man. He's the man, the myth, the legend. He has multiple titles on his belt for every day of the week. He is a non-stop legend in the field of everything from ninjas, rock and roll, pyromania, doing stuff with God of War, doing stuff in aerial battles. This man has no need for introduction, but we all know him humbly as Sir Hubs the Great. Hubs, how you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing fine. I'm just feeling fancy.
Feeling fancy.
Fancy.
Not really. I just thought it sounded cool.
It does sound cool.
It does
but
sound
we'll
cool.
just stick to that.
And then, I have Fergie's Fancy bumping in my brain now because of that. Jenny loves that song.
Look what you've done.
Was that by Fergie or was that by Iggy Azalea?
There was one... No, what's the one I'm thinking of?
Dun 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 dun.
No. Nope, it's not Fancy. I'm sorry. I was thinking of... It's a Fergie song, but it's not Fancy. It's the... You got me tripping, stumbling.
Oh,
yeah.
Because I'm falling in love.
Yep, that one.
And on the right side, you guys already heard that she's drawing porn, so we already only know her strictly as the RPG Queen, formerly known as the Queen of Badasses. She had to retire that title because branding is a bitch. She's done stuff of a kid carrying Apollo's testicle. She's done Lisa, where it was a land full of rapists trying to get one little girl. So it was kind of like a weird thing that would be in maybe Harvey Weinstein's private cell or R. Kelly's DVR.
Wait a second now. Hold on.
What now?
Just wait. Was that the first one? Did you say a kid carrying Apollo's testicle?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that's what you said because it took that long.
Then she went to dual travels to both the underworld and to Delta Ruin. We all know this lady is, of course, Britt Does Whatever if you guys did a time machine. We also know her as the original Daria that made MTV's Daria. But to humbly call her by any other title other than the RPG Queen, Queen Badass, and all those other titles, we simply know her as our sister Britt. Britt, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing dandy. Much better than being fancy.
Oh!
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh!
I'm kidding, Aaron.
The
I'm kidding.
shade!
The gloves are off.
The shade is real.
I am hurt.
I'll get you an umbrella so that way you can...
I don't need Rihanna to help. However,
oh, yeah, that's right. You already have Fergie, so...
I would not deny that. I would not deny her, but I don't need Rihanna to help me. Because I know she'd bring Jay-Z and there would be a whole thing. Then I'd have to throw down a rap battle with Jay-Z to prove myself to Rihanna.
Hey, man, you really should be trying to rap with one of the best of all time. Ho! God, I
Hova?
fucking hate Hove.
Hova.
But anyway, today, guys, we got a special treat for you guys where the first topic is going to be Hubs Unleashed, one of the newest segments we're unleashing on you all, where we're letting Hubs unleash 110% of the juice. On what topic tonight? It's of the Punisher.
Okay, so I'm just going to come out here and lay this out right out front. What you know of the Punisher in the comics. You know, last time, what did we do last time? We did Wolverine, we've done the Flash.
We've even done the Incredible Hulk in like the last one you were in.
Yes. So with Frank Castle, it's just a pure and simple, he is compensating for his tiny wiener. That's it. That's what the entire comic book is based on. He kills all these bad guys because of his tiny dick. That's what it is. I'm just being brutally honest.
That was like 10% hubs right there. I was expecting 110% juice.
Hold on. Let me get into the explanation.
Okay.
All right? I mean, yes, he's a former Marine. His family's killed by the mob. Not just like his wife, but his entire family. And I understand him going out and then getting revenge on them. That explains that. But then it turns into, what do I do next? Well, why can't he find a new girl? Why can't he find a new wife? Why can't he start a new family after he's resolved this issue with that one boss? That one mob family? Because there is no other woman out there willing to accept his micropenis. Therefore, he gets into this inferiority complex and decides he has to murder every single motherfucking organized criminal syndicate in the freaking world. Maybe even the universe. I don't know. Has he gotten that far yet?
Well, let's see. He's turned himself black once by accident. He was in an adventure with Archie and his friends in Archie Comics.
Hold on. I even have an example. Punisher versus the Wolverine. There's a point at which Castle figures out that he can't really kill Wolverine, but he's going to try his damnedest anyways, right?
Mm-hmm.
Literally shoots Wolverine in the dick.
Wow.
Come on now.
Rude.
Then he runs him over with a steamroller starting at the feet first, as if it's not to add insult to injury.
Someone called Dio, because I'm pretty sure someone stole his trick.
Nah, I'm sorry. I mean, I threw that out. That was a cop-out. You're right. That was like 10% me. This is a total cop-out. Anybody out there listening right now, I just totally fucking messing with you.
Like, we've all seen hubs at like 80 to 90% juice. We have like almost 80 episodes of juice.
But wouldn't it fucking be that screwed up if that were the case? If that was it.
If that were the case, I'd be like, dude, just get a penis pump. It worked for that kid in Degrassi.
You're not talking about Drake, are you? For those of you who don't know, Drake got his start on Degrassi.
It's true.
I remember that shit too, man.
Oh God. Okay, I'm really sorry, but I have to think about this one. What gets to the Punisher? Let's see here. What cuts it down to bare bones? What is the Punisher?
Well,
you don't think he gets off on the shit, do you?
He probably does.
He gets off on the shit.
That's probably like his way of finally having that one orgasm he can't have anymore.
Because he refuses to find another wife.
He refuses to have someone to help him bust the nut. So it's just like...
So basically... So here's what we've got. The Punisher's basically the anti-Captain America.
Well, yeah, because Captain America is no-nut century.
Well, what I'm saying is both have seen combat. Both have been in situations where PTSD has definitely affected them, right? They both got to have PTSD. It just affects Captain America completely differently than it does the Punisher, Frank Castle.
Correct.
Yes.
So, and both of them were okay, right? So, when the violence was out there in the field, it was okay because it didn't come home. Same with Captain America. And then when it came home for both of them, they both diverged. So it's almost like this isn't true, but it's almost like the same writers wrote both characters. That's not true, but it's almost like that. But one they took one way, and the other they took. Let's see what happens when we go the opposite route. Like, he doesn't. Frank Castle's not Batman. He's not a billionaire. He doesn't have money. How the fuck does he get all his guns? He's got connections.
And lots of connections as a vet.
Not only that, but he's almost genius level intellect when you think about it. When it comes to combat tactics and the things that he does, he makes his own weapons. He makes his own body armor. He makes his own vehicles.
He goes toe-to-toe with Daredevil, who can go toe-to-toe with the likes of Nightwing and DC. It's been proven. And Dick Grayson can fight alongside of Batman's Rogues Gallery and even people like Superman's caliber.
So he's Captain America with a Batman complex, but from the Flashpoint universe, not the Batman that we know.
Right, Thomas Wayne.
And he's just like, fuck him. Pop! I'm sorry, I'm not as creative on Punisher as I was with the previous two. I'm really, really trying to find a funny spin to it. Simplified down.
Well, I mean, the micro dick with the inability to have an orgasm because he can't get it off any other way kind of sums up Frank Castle to a T, except for why he shot Eminem. You guys can look it up if you guys listen to this. Frank Castle versus Eminem. It's a thing.
Eminem is in Marvel Comics, yes.
I love it.
He was
Where
black.
may I find this?
He tried to kill Eminem. He tried to be in a war of angels versus demons.
Well, as far as I know, he's taken on... So Marvel did a run of comics back in the 90s where it was their top sellers versus others. And in some cases, it was their top sellers versus, like, the bottom feeders, right? So they did Wolverine versus Ghost Rider, Wolverine versus Punisher, Gambit versus... fuck. Now I can't remember the Gambit one. But it was a whole series of these comic books that they did, the Versus series. And it was highlighting two characters, trying to cross over a bunch of different characters. And I'm guessing to start this whole unified Avengers universe. Because as you know, Spider-Man ends up as an Avenger. Wolverine ends up as an Avenger. As a matter of fact, half the fucking Marvel universe ends up in as Avenger at some point.
Like, a lot of the roster of the X-Men is technically affiliated with the Avengers.
Yes.
Because Storm was the former wife of Black Panther, but then they're just like, 2 black people in a marriage? We can't have this.
That's not healthy. He'd leave anyway.
And this was at the same time they were launching the X-Men Red Team, X-Men Blue Team, X-Men Gold Team. They had different teams.
They still have different teams.
Yes. Well, but they didn't always. It was always one team up until the 90s. Then they had the Blue Team and the Gold Team, and the Gold Team was like Scott Summers and Jean Grey, and then the Gold or the Blue Team was Wolverine, and he was doing like more of the X Factor type shit, like the stuff that Scott Summers couldn't handle.
Yeah.
And anyways,
now with
we're getting away from
comics are just so weird now, but it all still culminates into in a world of weird where there are living planets, giant bald men that watch over the entire universe, a space superhero team where there's a talking tree and a fucking trash panda. The most normal one is a man with PTSD out the ass that has a micro dick that gets off on killing people because he can't find a woman that can take him for his crazy ass assumptions about the world is out to get me, man. All these gangsters, all these mafiosos, I can't really stand it. You need help, Frank. Shut up, Linda. My name is Grace.
You know, that's a lot of. I think that's why a lot of people kind of shied away from the Punisher films series. Like the first Punisher with Thomas Jane, I liked it. There was character building. You understood him, and he was creative, right? Mm-hmm. The second one was all about violence. That one they made rated R, and it failed.
It's even on Netflix right now if you guys want to watch it.
It failed because it basically took to like the Saw franchise, like how can we create a way to kill a guy, and just gored it up. And that's not what the Punisher's about. There is a backstory. He does have a fucking mind of his own. I kind of didn't like the Punisher season 1 on Netflix, because that's how they kind of started to portray him. I'm sorry, when they introduced him in Daredevil, not Punisher season 1. I'm sorry. When they introduced him in Daredevil, that's kind of how they introduced him, was I'm this guy that kills bad guys.
To be fair, they introduced him like that in the Spider-Man animated series in the 90s.
That's how I remember him.
When they introduced him in the 90s?
Yeah, in the Spider-Man animated series, he was just paid by the Kingpin to think that Spider-Man was the villain, thanks to J. Jonah Jameson's whole publication of Spider-Man is a menace.
Yeah, but see, that was the part I understand. Like, they've done this in the comic books. He's been, but in the comic books, he wasn't, in the comics that I have read, and I don't follow Punisher religiously. I never have. But in the comics that I read, he always had a goal. He was never like a mercenary, And that was what I remembered. In the first movie, I liked it because I liked Thomas Jane, for one, and I, at the time, thought he'd make a great Wolverine if Hugh Jackman would ever quit.
Well, you're not wrong.
they're saying Hugh Jackman might be cameoing in Endgame. So
I've been hearing. I think it's more than a cameo, though.
Well, he did say he would be coming back if the X-Men were going to be with the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, if he could be an Avenger.
And Ryan Reynolds still wants to do a Wolverine Deadpool movie with Hugh Jackman, because everyone loves to see Huge's Jackman.
Huge is Jackman.
Delicious.
I'm really sorry. I did not come prepared for this Punisher segment. Oh my God, I feel like an idiot.
It was several years in the making. It seems like the juice is finally on empty.
Just for this one. Because I could still talk about time travel with the Flash and how he's the most. He is the smartest or the dumbest hero to ever exist.
That will be next week. We promise everyone time travel stuff for next week.
Yes.
But since this has been like a we're gonna say that it was just us on our off game. We're gonna segue into the next topic.
I'm gonna stick with the micropenis theory though.
We're gonna stick with that for now. But for the second topic in our whole month of love celebration.
Month of love.
I want to talk to you guys about something that I've kind of gathered from Netflix's newest licensed show of You. That it is by far the worst example of love I have ever witnessed. Even though, according to Hubs, it's not the same case as what I'm thinking of.
Hey, don't say according to me. I don't want any I want to keep my plausible deniability here.
No, but when I said that isn't love, you said love is if it's mutual. If it was not mutual, it's stalkerish and obsession. To my own self though, what Joe did was not love.
I think that what Joe did, you're right, was obsession, infatuation, stalker, right?
Yes.
But the love that he felt for her and the love that she felt for him was real. That doesn't take away from what he did.
Yeah, because he kidnapped her. Well, she thought it was her boyfriend, but to Benji, she was just a bang buddy. Because he had like a Rolodex of bitches in his phone, just like there's Rokeisha, there's Sandra, there's Pixie, there's gluten-free bitch.
So, and the reason I say that, like, the things he did were wrong. You're absolutely right. They were infatuation, they were obsession. He got focused on this one thing and trying to protect her. That's how it started out. He was trying to protect her. He just did it in like a dexterous way where he fucking murdered people.
Yeah, he murdered Benji. He murdered her. Well, for the Peach thing, that's still self-defense. I'll give the show credit in that regard, because even though he wanted to catch Peach in the lie, the whole murder of Peach was self-defense.
Peach is her best friend, right?
Peach was the best friend that was in love with Beck.
Yep. Yes, because she had the same problem, but she was taking a different route than...
She had photographs and even footage on her computer long before Joe. So in that regard, I give Joe a pass. Everything else, though,
Yes.
that was not love. What he had with Karen, where he didn't need to stalk her, he didn't need to do any sort of events with her for like the past 3 months in story. He was an actual human being that cared for Karen. And for Candace, he was just honestly in love with the wrong person.
Well, see, and that's where it gets all messed up, because caring for somebody does not mean that you necessarily love them. You care about them. And like I said, love, there's a lot of different levels of love. Like, you love your brothers and sisters or your mom and dad, and the love you feel for your partner or your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, or husband or wife, is a different love. I mean, it's the same, but it's different, because you're not, showing the affection that you show your wife. You don't show that affection to your parents.
That's only in Alabama. We don't do that
Yeah,
here.
no. We do not want to have the hillbilly siblings from Red Dead Redemption 2 in here. Please, no.
But what I was stating, so had she never returned or reciprocated that, because you know that there are cases out there where someone loves somebody, maybe they were best friends growing up and they just never had the balls to ask, or never, they were the nerd and their friend was the hot one, or whatever, whatever the reason is, and it's unrequited.
Right.
Now, were Joe to do these things to someone like that, that would just automatically from the start be infatuation, obsession, and stalker, right? Because that love was never requited. That love was never returned or reciprocated.
Yeah, and although I will admit Beck did love Joe for what he was when he was with her, I still go back to the same argument that people give about Thanos with Gamora in the whole parental love. In the romantic sense that at least I've tried to deduce more and more as a student of psychology, that's still not love. You don't stalk the people that you want to be with. You don't force yourself into their lives to make them become infatuated with you through false events to do all these things. You don't make these sort of actions of stealing phones and information and getting all these whole documents and whatnot to make all these events conspire to turn you into this perfect person into their life. That's not love.
All right. So let me paint it a different way then. What if they had been married for 15 years and then the show started?
If they were married for 15 years and Joe was doing this to protect Beck, there would be a lot of different repercussions with what he did.
I don't think so.
If they were already in love doing so, it would be like you went a little bit too far because it was murder and all this sort of stuff as a crime of passion. It's in the realms of they're both in love and whatnot, and Joe's just still trying to keep his marriage alive. That would be the only difference. With
right, and that's what I'm saying. This, and I'm agreeing that everything he did was wrong. All right, everything that he did was wrong. I'm totally agreeing with you there. I'm just saying that there is no difference between the love that he feels for her and the love that she feels for him.
Up until episode 9, where she pulled a Bluebeard and was like, "What's up in the ceiling? Oh, is it a surprise for..."
Wow, that was like really spot on, dude.
And then all of a sudden she's just like, "Why don't you do to me what you did to Candace, you sick fuck?"
Yeah, but we find out that Candace isn't dead, so that makes that whole thing kind of like, wait a second.
Yeah, all he did was push a coke-dealing music producer off a building because he was really heartbroken that Candace cheated on him, and she ran off to Italy.
And I'm just gonna put this out here. I'm playing devil's advocate right now because I knew what this show was gonna be when I read the description on Netflix. I knew what the show was gonna be.
I didn't. I was just like,
I knew it was gonna be a long, drawn out series about a fucking stalker who ends up killing people because of a woman. I knew that's what it was gonna be. It just ended differently than I expected. So I'm playing devil's advocate right now. But when I say things about love being the fine line between insanity or obsession and stalker and actual love, I mean, if Jenny didn't love me back and this was her house, I'd be the bad guy right now.
Yeah. Which also brings up another thing of what Joe did of breaking into Beck's house to steal underwear.
What? I have sniffed Jenny's underwear before.
What? Don't tell my husband, but I know he did it. He's done mine too. So
see, it's a normal thing. Guys do this. Jenny didn't even have a response.
She's just like,
okay,
put it down.
But again, there's the difference though, Aaron, for you and for Britt. You guys have these relationships that are firmly established. With Joe, from the very beginning, it was just a meet cute that he decided to force by studying her patterns, stalking where she goes, stealing her phone and her underwear, going everywhere she went to then kidnap Benji.
Let's be honest now. There are some bros out there that have done some pretty shady things to get a girl to go home with them.
Yeah, and they're reprehensible too, but Joe's on another level with his whole obsessive stalkery bullshit, to which I can't stop at a whole thing the more I dissect it since...
Honestly, do you want to know what I think it is? Again, yes, Joe is a dick. He's the world's fucking worst dick. I have so many ways that could have gone. So many ways. Anyways, but I think what he's suffering from, because they don't tell a whole lot about his past. They only show
but
what
they
he sees in his
showed
mind.
Enough about what made him who he is. No, like hear me out on this though, Aaron. Like he had an abusive household where his father literally physically abused him and his mom was negligent.
No. Hold on.
Figure,
you're going too far back. You're going too far back.
I'm leading into where you think I'm gonna go. His only father figure was that old man Mooney that forced him to literally be in that glass cage whenever he misbehaved. He was raised by a sociopath to have sociopathic tendencies. As such, with that focal point still being that whole thing, there is that whole mentally Joe isn't settled and he needs psychological help. I understand that. Especially,
no, I think it has more to do with Candace is what I'm getting at.
Oh, with Candace, that was just the tipping point because Mooney was like, some people in this world deserve to die.
No, I think that's why he started killing. He thought that he had killed Candace. It's pretty clear throughout the series, he thinks she's dead.
No, those posts from Instagram that he tried to show Beck do show that he never imagined that she would be dead by his own hands.
I didn't say that he killed her, or he thought he killed her. I mean, he thought she was dead. And it was pretty clear because of the hallucinations he was having of her throughout the series. And I think it was more stemmed from her. I think he screwed that up somehow so bad that it was so irreparable.
You mean
and he
aside
thought she was
from
dead.
killing her record agent?
But I think that's what led him to a new woman. You know what I mean? Just happened to be Beck. It could have been anybody else. They just chose Beck to tell this story.
And yet I still go back to when he was with Karen, he didn't have these tendencies.
Who's Karen? Which one's Karen?
Karen is the lady that's helping out with Paco's mom when she's trying to get rid of Ron.
Oh, yes.
So that
Well,
argument, though, with Candace, I can see that from a certain perspective for only so long because of the evidence of him with Candace.
That's because he's already locked on to that new one. That's his obsession, right? His obsession is Beck. He tries to drown that obsession out with Karen, but it does not work.
Technically, that was
Because
when Beck
Karen
was
is not
obsessed
Beck.
with Joe, because Joe was honestly on a path to being a normal person.
He was still stalking her, though.
No, not in the
Yes.
same exact capacity that he did. It was more like that whole thing that exes do of just like, I'm just going to see what they're going to be doing. Just going to be
Right.
harmless.
But then he started setting up situations where they would meet.
No, that was Beck. Beck did those things.
That wasn't until the boat.
No, Beck decided to go to his neighborhood as a meet cute and then started texting him to draw him back. And then it was stuff with the boat, but that was only after his coworker at the bookstore and her book editor made them do that whole move-in thing together.
But that goes against the whole argument of obsession. Because that's not technically obsession then. If he could get over her, but she forced herself back into his life.
No, I'm still on the fence about what Joe did wasn't love with the Beck situation. That was still class A obsession from what Joe was stating about, but what Beck did was kind of what most people do as like an instant regret feeling in a relationship for
Right.
unstable individuals, which makes the obsession go back full force. Joe was still being haunted by what he did for Beck, such as killing Benji in that silent glass room of his in the basement of the bookstore when they were trying to get Paco's mom away from all the big things with her drug addiction. In that whole state of mind, he could relapse to anything and everything. And Beck took advantage of that without knowing, which made the obsession go back into being resurfaced.
That still doesn't take away the love, though. I mean, I'm still saying that they both loved each other. I'm just saying, again, it was a sped up version of a 15-year marriage. Normal people don't do this. Normal people should not do this. This is not something that anybody should do.
No, it is not what anyone should do anywhere, because what happened was awful.
Yes, and I completely agree. But you take this situation, and yes, if it were a founded relationship that had some basis and story behind it, it'd be a completely different story.
Exactly.
You're right, but it's still love.
Not in the same capacity as an established relationship, because...
Now you're saying there's different levels of love. I know there's different sections or different ways to treat love, but love is love.
Not in that same thing, though. If you're already in a relationship, yeah, do whatever you need to do in certain situations. But,
Yeah, but you had to
that
fall in
wasn't
love
a
first.
relationship.
But you had to fall in love first.
But
I'm
in
not
what?
saying what he did was right. I'm saying that the love was genuine, regardless of what happened.
Yeah, it was only genuine until Beck started to piece together, once she saw the evidence, what Joe did to understand what happened.
And if she'd never found the evidence?
If she never found the evidence, then it would have been a very sad undertone to what could have happened, but I still wouldn't have seen it as love.
So she would have stayed with him, they could have gotten married, they could have been in a relationship forever, and she'd never find out about this?
And I still wouldn't see it as love.
And it is.
I don't see it as love, though.
That doesn't mean it's not, though.
But at the same capacity, from when you're just making your obsession fall for you through false pretenses, that's not love. Like, put it like this way, Aaron, like, if you and Jenny were to meet today, like, never had any history, and then just one meet cute happens, You just stalk her everywhere. You study her patterns. You start going to all these secret stuff so that she doesn't see you, so you overhear all these conversations. You find a way to steal her phone, get her contact information, go into ways that you can find out any person that she's with to then get them out of the picture to make you start being the insert by just trying to be this oh-so-perfect person into their life because you imagine that's what's supposed to be what it is.
Isn't that what all guys or girls do when they find a person that they want to be with? I mean, not to the extent of stealing their phone and taking their contact information, because back when, we started dating, we didn't have fucking cell phones. So you had the Rolodex and the phone book. You didn't have to steal a phone number because you had a phone book. So it was easy enough to find a name in a book and look it up and call the number. As for stalking or trying to figure out their patterns, yes, men do this every day, not to the extent that Joe did it. Men and women do this every day to figure out how they can, by chance, meet or maybe start a conversation or maybe, hey, want to get a drink sometime? Yes, those are all normal things to do as a human being when you're trying to mate with somebody or get with somebody.
But to that capacity,
I agree with Aaron on this one.
They took... yes, to that capacity, you're right. They took that basic human nature need and put it to the extreme. That's what I'm saying. It's still love. They just took it to the Deadpool level.
But I don't see that level as love, though.
But it's still love. It doesn't matter if you see it that way or not.
I mean, it makes sense because when you think of high school, this whole conversation made me think of back to high school because I was kind of a stalker on the people I had a crush on.
So was
and I did go pretty far to get closer to them and stuff, but of course it never happened because they got a boyfriend girlfriend now. So I can understand it. So I don't think maybe the word proper. I kind of agree with both of you guys. I think it is true that it's probably not really considered love, but I do believe that Aaron is right about how you go about it and stuff. I think the right word we're looking for is infatuation.
There we go.
Or obsession.
Infatuation and obsession.
But to say, even in high school, to say if, let's say you have a crush or something and they have a boyfriend, and Jenny's tried to do this to me.
God damn, the shade is real.
To sabotage that relationship, to get them single again. Yes, see, she's even admitting it right now. She says she deserved it. That is something that people actively do all the time.
But I'm not saying anything that what you're saying is wrong, Aaron. I'm saying for Joe as the person in the whole thing of the show, what he did was not love.
And I'm saying it is. I'm saying it is because you laugh because of that fine line.
No, I'm laughing because this is the only time you and I have ever been in a full-blown debate about something.
I know, and the only reason I'm going right back to that fine line, if she would have never reciprocated, if there would have never been in a relationship, if she would have never loved him back, then yes, it would have purely and simply stayed as an infatuation or obsession. The fact that she reciprocated and he continued, because as anybody knows with an infatuation, it dissipates once you taste it. Once you get to that point with your infatuation, let's say you have a crush in high school, you get with them because you're infatuated with them, you just can't get them out of your head, you finally date them. After 6 months, it's usually shit. That's what an infatuation is. Joe proceeded and kept going until, of course, the culminating point.
Yeah, after he stole Benji's phone to make him seem more and more of a douche to Beck, so Beck could then go to him with false information so that he could be that insert, and then followed her to then do the whole stuff with her daddy issues that she didn't want to do without her own energy to do so, that she deserved because it's her own life to do so since she grew up with that as a problem, and then stalked her then best friend that was also obsessed, and then tried to murder her in the park because she just happened to not like Joe.
Well, it's because Joe figured out that she was obsessed.
No, not the first time. The second time, it was just yeah, I know she's obsessed. First time, it's just like, oh, she's just trying to keep you as a puppet. Second time, oh, she just wants to fuck you.
No, the first time he knew that she was obsessed because he found her phone and found all those pictures and everything.
That was in the other one. He thought that was blackmail. Then he came to her about the whole stuff about she's obsessed with her.
Anyway,
but we're getting off topic right now.
That still doesn't change it.
What I'm still just going at is, yes, if Joe were to do the stuff in the normal capacity that everyday people do on impulse, I wouldn't have an issue. But the fact of the matter is, every action that he did to culminate into that stuff, in that whole next level shit, isn't love to me. That's forcing something to happen that could have happened naturally if given time.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. He gave the push. That's what everybody did. They give the push. Now, of course, the Benji thing, that's the first fucking hurdle, right? Is the Benji thing. If you wipe out that, just that one little thing, nothing that he has done up to that point was that bad until he tries to kill Peach.
Well, Peach tried to kill him. First, he tried to kill Peach, and then Peach tried to kill him. And
I'm talking about the point when he tries to kill her with the rock. Up until that point, if you erase the Benji thing, and again, you can't.
And the breaking and entering to her apartment.
No. You can leave that in. Go ahead and leave that in. I'm dead serious, V. I know fucking people that have done stupid shit like that just to get a girl to like them.
And does that ever work without a restraining order?
Fuck no. That's real life. This is a fucking Netflix show. I'm still sticking to the point that what they experienced is love. Now, the love she feels for him has been created. Yes. But it's still love. It's still genuine. And the love that he feels for her is still love and genuine. Obviously, he would do anything to protect that.
Yeah. Did anything. Even made the whole relationship happen with blood, sweat, tears, breaking and entering, stealing, sure he did falsification of information and evidence, everything.
Mm-hmm.
In a way that normal women would be repulsed by.
That's if they knew about it.
Only if they
and the same goes for men. You know, because there's some women out there that there are some women out there that will go to extreme lengths to ensure that the one that they feel should be with them does not leave.
Okay, we've been going on about this for like a back and forth thing. We're just gonna stop at the middle and say that this is infatuation, obsession, like Britt did, because I could go about this for hours, but we do not have hours.
Beginning to look a lot like Valentine's Day.
Love.
He hates this month.
I do.
Love is just obsession. That's all it is. Love is an obsession that is requited. That's all I'm saying.
Not in my cases anymore. Like, all I did to get my marriage today was just actually talk and just actually ask them up front, if we were to be talking tomorrow as boyfriend and girlfriend, would that be a problem? I didn't make it any stalkerish or creepy. I just literally gave a honest-to-good gentleman's choice.
Well, that's because you've grown up.
So you marrying me or what, bitch? I'm just kidding. That's basically how my marriage came together, but yeah.
It's like, okay, how did Britt get married? So you marry me or what, bitch? I'm waiting all day.
It's more of like this is a true story. I got married by my husband proposing. We're at Walmart, passed by the ring jewelry department. Let's get rings. Okay. And that's the story. That's it. That's it.
That's the story. And that kid's how she met your father.
We need to put in some plot twist or some shit to make this more interesting.
Like make it 8 seasons long.
8 seasons long for no reason.
And then the 8th season is just like the entire weekend. It's the span of 16 episodes.
Yes. It's perfect. Where's our lawyers? Write this down.
I think they're out to lunch.
Shit. God damn it.
But since we have a little bit of time, we're gonna go with the always infamously legendary third segment. So, in continuing the stuff of the month of love on the grounds that I'm probably going to hate myself for doing, we've talked about infatuation and obsession. I will stand by my opinion on the show You for that big culminating fact about it. I'll even make a video about it for people. But what I'm going to be going into about love, since we already talked about when you first feel attraction and about breakups, I would like to talk to people about the ups and downs that are realistically in relationships, whether it's from new relationships, when you're engaged, when you're married, if you're just on that whole teeter-totter of can you make this work for another 10, 15, 20 years. Because, oh boy, are there going to be constant hurdles when it comes to relationships. So who would like to start first on the roller coaster that is relationships?
Dr. Jekyll?
No.
What he
Why
and
not?
Mr. Hyde do behind closed brain doors are their own business.
Dr. Jekyll's the good one.
Yeah, but we all know that they're secretly boning each other in their brain.
Well,
Dr.
if
Dr.
you're a
Jekyll
boy-
is the one that's just like, I'll put the ball gag in, and Mr. Hyde's just like, okay, but you remember the safe word, right? Yes, it's orange.
Isn't that just the masturbation sequence? Relationships.
Like, what's the roller coaster realistically for these people that just got in a relationship?
Communication. That's-
roller-
What the
I
fuck
feel
is
like
that?
it is the biggest thing in relationships.
The roller coaster. I think honesty and communication are hand in hand.
Yeah, that for sure. Because even if you don't want to tell them, you probably should tell them. Because then they're
Nope.
going to find out, and they'd be
Right.
pissed. And then you guys miscommunicate when they're out arguing, you know?
Exactly. No matter how bad it is, just it's. I've spent long enough on this planet to figure out it's gonna come out eventually, and whatever happens, happens.
Yes.
Regardless of what you think or want, you have to take responsibility, and you have to own up to whatever it is that is going on. If you can't do those two simple things and be honest, I don't think your relationship will last.
No, it won't.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
That's how my first marriage ended very poorly.
Because usually it's something stupid that in your head you make worse. Like the butterfly effect. It's just a freaking molehill right now, and then you turn it into a mountain in your head, and then you tell that first lie. And then that first lie has to turn into a second lie, and that second lie has to turn into a third lie. And eventually it all falls apart. But by the time it falls apart, it's become the mountain. And you could be no longer with your significant other because you lost a phone. Something stupid.
Or just be like, shit, I dropped like the tickets for us to have like a carriage ride in the park.
Right.
Shit, she's gonna fucking kill me. I was mugged.
Yeah, there's no need for it. There's no reason for it. That's one of the big things in our household is honesty. Just be honest. Don't lie.
Mine is communication.
If you did something wrong, yes, you might get punished for it, but you're not gonna get punished. You're gonna make it worse if you lie. Like, okay, you got an F on a grade in school. Okay, well, you're gonna be grounded from video games for a week.
Just study,
Right.
do better, and you'll get your privileges back.
Right. Once your grade comes up, you'll get your privilege back. Just don't lie to me about it. Well, you lie to me about it. Now your grade goes from 1 F to 2 Fs to 3 Fs. Now what do? Now I have to take action when I should have taken action months ago, but you weren't honest with me. You didn't tell me. Yeah, and then obviously that's with a child, a parenting situation. That's not
Like, all three of us are parents, so...
It's still a relationship, so I just threw that in there.
Like, to all the moms and dads
You're totally not wrong,
in the
though,
world.
because that's totally, like, how I remember my childhood. Like, don't lie to your parents, either. It's like...
I
got so mad when I didn't do my math homework, and I would try to do it at, like, 11 o'clock at night, and it's like, you're supposed to be going to bed now. I can't believe you be this... What's that word? Irresponsible.
And in the same vein of honesty, like all three of us say, communication is still key, because you can't work out issues if you're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs. Like, it could be like something super small, like your partner doesn't have the same spiritual views as you and is making jokes about your beliefs. You can't just solve that whole thing of just like...
Exactly.
This water's good.
Yeah, you got to talk. You got to talk. If like we always tell our kids, if you don't tell me what's wrong, I cannot help you fix it. And I get it. Teenagers don't necessarily want help to fix it. There's certain things that they just don't want to talk about or whatever. I mean, I'm still young enough to remember what it was like, but old enough to go, man, if I'd have just opened up a little bit more.
If we could have all been a little bit more honest to our our teenage selves, I wonder where we would have been in life now.
And communicated better, for sure. Communicated better, because there are times I remember me and my dad would butt heads, and my dad, how do I say this? He's an intimidating man, but he never did anything to be intimidating. You know what I mean? It was like he never spanked me or anything like that. He was just intimidating in and of himself. So when we'd butt heads, when I was finally a teenager, the point, I think the worst it got is he grabbed me right by the collar and held me up against the wall, and me being just as stubborn and bullheaded as he is, pushing back, when I knew I shouldn't have been. That situation could have been entirely different had I just been a little bit more open,
And another thing for like the relationships I know we're like going off from the whole romance thing, thank God, but for me, another big thing in a relationship, for a lot of you guys that have your first relationships right now, actually hear me out on this one. Trust.
Oh, yes.
There must be trust with you and your partner to some degree.
So wait a second. Hold on, V. Did we just come full circle with the whole rom-com, like, fucking circle of love? You need communication, honesty, and trust. Did we just do that? Did we just hit the trifecta with the fucking dramedy?
Holy shit, I think he's right.
We just did that. I'm so, like, hurt right now. Every fucking romance comic fucking movie, they've been telling us this for decades, V.
What have I done?
We've just hit the trifecta. We've hit the trifecta.
What have I done?
Shit.
They've been telling us this since fucking... Well, I was going to say Ghosts of Girlfriends Past because I saw an article about Matthew McConaughey and...
They've been trying to tell me this since it's... What was that fucking stupid ass book that I read back in the day? Well, there's Pride and Prejudice, Wuthering Heights, all the Shakespearean romance plays.
Oh my God. Romeo and Juliet. Was that love or infatuation and obsession?
That was teen love taken way, way too far.
Oh, see, now you just fucking... No.
That was legit, like, just two stupid teens, really.
That was just teen love. That was just because you can't be with them. Oh, yeah? Well, I'm going to run away and marry him. Oh, like hell you are.
Oh, no, they're dead. I should die, too, because I loved him so much. And then...
No, I woke up and he's dead. Now I really have to kill myself.
Yeah, right? Like,
so it's just like, yeah, it's teen love. It's like when you don't know enough about love.
Still love.
I said teen love.
Here we go again.
I didn't say it wasn't love.
I'm not getting away from. No, we did it, B.
We'll never be
okay.
done with
So
this
seriously,
podcast at this rate.
I think we just fell into the cliche. We just figured it out. We just came to the realization that, oh my God, they've been fucking telling us this for decades.
For decades upon generations, and it's like,
there's
bitch.
3 things you need to make a relationship work.
Communication, honesty, and trust.
Holy fuck. I'm a little blown away with this.
Like, those are the 3 components you need to work, but here's also the stuff of, like, where the roller coaster comes in, boys and girls, so strap in. There's gonna be
strap on? Oh, strap in.
There's gonna be stuff of, like, rumors and idiot friends as the downside of the roller coaster. You will have those dumbass friends that come in just like, man, I know you like this girl or boy, but I'm pretty sure that this person, like, walking down the street right now would be better for you. Or you could just be all of a sudden hear, like, some rumor from, like, your job saying, I heard that your significant other was out with their ex for lunch. What was that about?
Like, oh my
That's
God.
when he asked. Why were you talking to this person? I thought you hated them.
And that's going to be where the downside of that roller coaster comes in. But there's going to be some positives. There's always going to be positives to stuff like that, such as actually getting to know the best sides of your partner away from wherever you guys met from, whether it's from a job or from school or
Wait,
from...
B, you said best side, not backside, right?
Yes, I said best side.
But what if that is their best side?
Well, then shit.
I mean,
I'm
I
sorry.
am drawing one right now, so.
Sorry, I had to draw that there.
And then aside from that, you also get to share beautiful moments that you could I don't think you could ever possibly replace no matter where you go. Because sometimes you'll be looking back fondly with, like, those senior glasses, like when you're leaving high school for the last time. It's just like, there are some good moments here. Like when we went parasailing over France.
You went parasailing over France?
Will you take me?
That is not something that I could picture you doing.
No, I only skydove over Germany once, but that's beside the point.
Was it World War II?
I knew it. V doesn't believe in love because it's all flashbacks.
Wait, those 2 different wars. How many lives have you lived, V? Jesus.
I've lost count. But yeah, beautiful moments, knowing your partner better in ways that no other person can. But like I've said, there's always going to be that whole roller coaster of events, and things may not work out. Breakups happen all the time. And sometimes they do work out. You guys end up like me or Hubs or like Britt, where we're happily married and have kids and have iffy in-laws.
Yeah.
Like, everything comes with like either a good ending or a bad ending, like it's a visual novel. Every route takes you someplace different. Every action has a different reaction. That has that whole stemming effect into what you want to do most with your time and with your partner that you choose. But it's never going to work out if you don't do the 3 components and don't, for the love of God, go on the roller coaster to find out if the adventure is worth it.
Skip the roller coaster, kids. It's a fucking hell of a ride.
Don't get married.
You know what? I'm gonna go with that one. If you're not ready for it, or well, it's sad because I am now saying all the things that I was told when I was a teenager, and I'm realizing, or have realized, that it doesn't fucking matter what I say, because it didn't matter to me when I was that age.
Yeah.
I could just hope that maybe I could get through to one of them. You know.
Good times, guys.
Great times, but I'm still just saying that the roller coaster is worth it. You don't have to marry the first person that you date. My God, we're not like rabbits where we bond for life at first glance.
Oh, we're like rabbits. We just don't procreate at the same rate.
So you're saying that...
I'm sorry, produce, not procreate, produce.
So you're saying that we automatically bond with the first person that we see for life? Because that's what rabbits do.
No. I'm talking about the procreation aspect of rabbits.
Oh, I was about to say, like, we can fuck like rabbits, but we can't fall in love like rabbits.
But in my case, yes.
In your case, yeah, because you bonded for life with the...
Yes. I mean, it took a while to get back to that, but yes.
But to everyone else in the world...
story.
But everyone else in the world, it's not going to be that simple, okay?
No. Human nature is far more complicated. We were designed to go out, fuck as many people as possible. We were all
supposed to be just running around like crazy people, you know?
Like Rome. Walking around the streets naked, having sex in hot tub spas and shit.
And make it huge, just make it all huge.
And have as many kids as possible.
Huge.
Back then it was for the species to survive. Now it's just like, let's do this for fun. Like dolphins.
Yeah, dolphins.
Don't compare dolphins. Dolphins gang rape other
dolphins.
Damn.
They're the only other mammal on the planet that has sex for fun.
He's not wrong on that, but yeah, don't be a dolphin.
Don't be a dolphin in the gangbang wars.
Hey, according to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, dolphins are far superior to us.
Yeah.
So are you implying that they have better sex than we do? Because that's what it sounds like.
Have you ever had sex with a dolphin?
No.
No.
I don't plan on to.
God, no.
How do you know?
I don't. Aaron, you're fired.
This took a weird turn.
Maybe dolphins having sex is like being on ecstasy and high on marijuana at the same time. I don't know.
No, don't do that math. It's X with MDMA.
No, I don't want to do that math either. I thought MDMA was ecstasy.
It's kind of a different strand of the hallucinogenic tree of drug mutation, where the components for LSD, heroin, MDMA, and ecstasy can be from the same branch. The components themselves are a little bit different due to different THC levels in each one that has a different component. After which you can try to isolate the entire formulaic equation for each one. I shouldn't really be explaining drugs to you guys.
I didn't know they all contain THC.
There's always a pinch of THC for the hallucinogenic to stick into the component. Again, I shouldn't be teaching you guys about drugs.
Yeah.
My former life is showing.
I think I need a cigarette after that.
Now, you want to share?
Sure. If you're okay with that, I mean.
Yep. Here you go. Here. I'll even get the light for you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so before we go into even more of my dark past and to more stuff of dolphin gang rape, let's do final thoughts segment.
Hey, one more thing about dolphins.
Oh God.
One more thing.
What?
Did you know that great whites stay away from dolphins?
Really? I didn't know about that.
Because dolphins travels in pods, right? Just like whales do.
So are they afraid of the gang rape too? Because I would be.
That could be, but I know that
that makes so much sense now.
I know that great white sharks, as well as even orca whales, will not fuck with a pod of dolphins.
Well, because a pod of dolphins is just like, oh hey, pretty boy.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's exactly how I
pretty much. So wait. So dolphins are in the Roman era of human civilization.
Hey, pretty dolphin.
Yes.
You didn't look
Isn't that what
pretty
they were
good
all
today.
doing back then? Was just like fucking raping each other and having sex. Like Caligula was around then, wasn't he?
Yeah, where he fisted a guy and then shoved the flower in his ass. Yeah.
That was the whole. That's what happens when you get free love, fucking hippies.
Hey.
Sorry, I had to throw it in
Hey.
there. I had to throw it. I don't mean that. I really don't. I'm all for free love and let's legalize pot and get rid of all. I want to do DMT. V. Can I do DMT? Is there any way I can get into that?
I'll talk to you about that after the final thought stuff. So, aside from we're going to come back to the Punisher a later date. Don't worry. We're going to get the juice back into Hubs, and we're going to demolish that topic a different day. Don't worry. But to the other topics that we covered, Hubs, Britt, take us home with your thoughts on both of those.
Love is love.
Love is patient. Love is kind. Corinthians 3:14. I only know that because I had to read that stupid passage at my mom's wedding.
Fucking
But-
religion
This is
again.
This is why I don't follow. Okay, Bible's a good book. It's a good book full of stories.
It is.
Some of those
It's
stories
funny stories. Actually.
may or may not be true. I mean,
We
anyways,
cannot
it's the whole
state
subject
anything on
we'll get
that.
into later. Let's stay away from that right now.
Yeah, and forever. Thank you.
But love can also be cruel. Love can be many things. I'm done. That's where I'm at. Love can be many things.
Okay. Britt, your final thoughts on the second and third topic.
You guys can just all save yourselves the trouble and not fall in love. Don't be a stalker. All that kind of weird stuff. But otherwise, I mean, in reality, definitely just tell them the truth and communicate. Doesn't matter how bad it is. You burned down the shed. Yeah. Okay. You cheated on them. Yeah. But definitely just be honest. That's all I can really say.
I feel like you're trying to tell us something here.
Me?
Are you having regrets? Are you having regrets?
Regrets? No such thing.
Or is she having ragrets?
Ragrats.
Regrets.
Rugrats? I see where the regret. Ooh.
Ooh.
Might have come a little too close there.
Well, all right. My final thoughts on the second and third topics. Obsession. It's wrong. I'm just kidding. It's healthy to want to try your best to do whatever it takes to be in a relationship to a certain degree. But to go all those extra steps a bit too far, that's where you should draw the line and literally take a moment to reflect on where you're going wrong. And for the final one, rom-com tropes aside, because we're just now ashamed of ourselves today.
We just figured out that they were all right. They were all fucking true. Fucking rom-coms.
God fucking damn it. Aside from them doing all that stuff, the three components do ring true, and the relationship roller coaster, it's worth it if you want to put the time in. If you're just looking for a quick lay and then they just decide to come after you, don't force the roller coaster.
But what about the quick lay that you accidentally find out that, holy shit, I think I really like this girl?
Then follow on getting on the roller coaster as soon as possible before you fuck it up and just say like, I just thought you were gonna be hit it and quit it, but wait, what? They got that whole I done fucked up and someone called me eating ass face.
Perfect. Ass face. That was one that I always wanted to finish on.
Oh God. But yeah. Follow the three components. Take a genuine ride on the relationship roller coaster to its actual conclusion, whether it's good or bad, And you'll see that a relationship is worth it if you want to put the time in. Just don't be like one of those dumbasses that forces something that isn't there.
And then one final thing from me, and it's really going to be cliche, and I'm so fucking sorry, but I only know because I've been through it, and I went through, if I hadn't experienced it, I wouldn't know. I would still be in the same place, and I would still be, well, I'd actually probably be dead now. Not from, like, suicide or anything, just from self-inflicted damage. That is suicide, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shit. Well, not like, there would...
Good recovery. Yeah.
Anyways, no matter what happens, no matter where you think your relationship is or how you feel about your relationship or how badly it went wrong, and for whatever reason you think that just could never be this way again and it's never going to get better and this and that, it will. It always does. I didn't think so back then, but it did. And if there was a person out there that didn't deserve it, it would have been me. So, I mean, didn't deserve it to get better, is what I mean. Not didn't deserve to get hurt like that. I mean, didn't deserve it to get better. It got better, and I didn't deserve it to. So, don't fall out of that relationship thinking that that's it. No person on this planet is worth killing yourself for, I guess is the point that I'm getting to.
Yeah.
There are people worth dying for. Yes. There is nobody on this planet that is worth killing yourself for. All right? Now, of course, this is going to exclude like Hollywood movie rights exceptions where the only way your daughter lives is if you pull that trigger. I'm not talking about that shit. Talking about real life situations. Your heart is broken. You don't see yourself ever coming back. It ain't worth it, man. It's not worth it to hurt yourself because of that. It's just not worth it. If it didn't work out, it didn't work out. Yeah, you're going to hurt. There's not a damn thing anybody's going to say to make you feel better. You're going to go through your period of depression. You're probably going to drink more. You're probably going to start taking some sort of pills to fall asleep at night because you're not sleeping regularly. It happens.
You start throwing yourself into situations that you try to block out that one pain with new pain.
Exactly. Or try to just numb the pain altogether or get rid of it altogether. It does go away. And it does change and it does get better. So just throwing that in there. At the final bell.
Alrighty, well, we covered a lot for you guys, but we probably have like 2 more for the month of love. I fucking hate this month so much.
It's almost over, V. It's almost over.
Almost over.
I think I hear a TARDIS.
Next topic we're gonna be covering for the next week is going to be on time travel and fiction, because there are a lot of things that have time travel, including Kingdom Hearts, where we might be talking about later on, since Kingdom Hearts 3 dropped at the time this is posted. And the second thing I want to bring up personally for you guys for the month of love is on... Well, we've talked about...
You guys didn't see that, but V totally just flipped off the camera.
Yeah, I did. Where, we talked about falling in love. We talked about breakups. We talked about the relationship roller coaster. Now let's get into the nitty fucking gritty about when is the time to take the biggest leap of them all.
You're not talking about off Niagara Falls, are you?
No. But at the scenic locale where everyone does the cliche big step of when to pop the question of when you want your partner to marry you.
Hoover Dam?
No, that's where I would go.
Eiffel Tower.
Only if you want to end up with a bunch of people like, oh, you stupid American. I put you in my scrapbook of failed marriages.
The cringe compilation.
I fart in your general direction.
You Canadian. You Canadians.
Not leave, you English pig dog, before I insult you a second time.
Hey. Whoa. I thanked you for the revolution, okay? Wait. Don't fucking say which revolution. No, that was the Revolutionary. Yeah, I know you've had like a million Revolutionary War. I'm talking about the American. I thanked you for the American Revolutionary War, okay? That was. No! Not your revolution. You've had like a million revolutions, okay? Why would I thank you for your own revolution?
We're gonna find our location.
Jesus.
You know, guys, as weird as it is for all these episodes that we've done, this is probably the most focused season that we've personally had in the whole span of what grinds our gears. I don't like it.
Yeah, don't get used to it.
Oh, come on, D. It's not so bad. That's just because I've been absent for most of it.
Even when you were here, we were still focused for like 75 to 80% of the time. I'm just like, what happened to the good old days when we lost track of everything?
I've been making it a point to get back on track, and it's just fucking everything up. Note to self. Don't try to re-rail yourself. You'll just derail yourself. Look at that. There's a new motto.
Woo!
Woo!
Wait. Try not to rail yourself at all. That's just terrible.
I mean, that's probably like what people say as like a chant, just like, ah, man, it's November and I can't get railed. Wait, what? What?
No rail November?
Well, I practice no shave November, but everyone's just like, wait, don't you mean no nut November? What? No. The fuck are you talking about?
I'm fucking married. Why would I do that? Why did I hurt myself that way?
I don't need blue balls, bitch.
That's what I don't understand. What all these couples have issues with once they're married, they stop doing it.
I think we had.
Why?
I think we did that on a Talking Dick once.
Probably.
We talked about that.
Well, why would you stop?
Maybe because they feel like that their sex organs aren't that compatible. I don't know.
They're built for each other.
Literally. I know.
It's like you can't fit the parts more perfectly than it already can. You know.
It's like a fucking Lego brick.
I mean, it's kind of like in that
so
same.
You step on it.
It's like in that same regard where I don't mind doing this before anything were to happen. Where in one of my previous engagements, I was told to not go too deep in because they were a very small person. That I can understand of just like, you're too big for my physical being.
Right.
Or like trying to tell your female partner, your lips move too much when I go down there.
Sorry, the visual is wow. All right.
Must have been one hell of a queef. Why that name?
Why that name? I will actually tell
Maybe
you
that's
why.
The first time they
you
heard
see,
the sound.
it dates back to.
Got money on my mind every day. Please don't play with mine, put it in the bag. Usually I can leave it in the past. You won't make me have to show my ass. Ooh, I can love you till the sun comes up. Let me love your body down. You don't even really gotta ask. I'ma love you better than the rest. Call me like, ooh.